As always, this is your favorite show, The League of the Genuine Conversations, with me, Fred Muwema. We are continuing our series of discussions on counterfeit, substandard, or fakes in the trade, business, and entrepreneurship sector. We did our first episode last week, right here with the chairman of Kasita. We are still in Kasita world. We have come downtown. I must confess, this part of the town has changed greatly. I think the city authority is doing well. There are flowers, one-way roads, the traffic is good. It's really looking nice here, and we are very happy to be in the premises of a very interesting business, a gentleman who we believe we shall have a good time the next 45 minutes or so having a discussion here. We are in the premises of Bravo Shoes. I know many of you in this town must have heard a whisper or have bought a shoe called Bravo. We decided to come here to see for ourselves. This gentleman should be able to tell us, Mr. Brian Yesigye.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Very humbled, and I'm glad to be part of your show. It's a great show, and I can't wait to share my experience.
I am really super excited to find out what makes Brian Yesigye tick. What do you stand for?
Of course, Brian stands for quality, and definitely with integrity. I believe so much in integrity when we're doing our businesses, and it is integrity, the integrity that has brought our brand to where it is. And of course, many people say, what is integrity? I believe that the three secrets that I've lived on in my life of business, because all my life has been business, is about integrity as the top three secrets of success in our brands, in our businesses, as number one being integrity, number two being integrity, and number three being integrity.
I see that you are a middle-aged person. You're not old, you're not young.
Yeah.
Just walk us through your journey. Is this something you started this year or just before COVID? What is the history of Bravo Shoes? And why did you choose Bravo?
Yes, I chose Bravo. Just to be sincere, Mr. Muwema, Bravo is my third name. Bravo Shoes came and took over my third name that I still hold on to, of course, as my name, but the brand decided to be stronger. So
for this show, we shall call you Mr. Bravo.
But yes, Bravo is my third name as well. And the origin of the brand, I decided to take off one of my names to call the brand, because you see, when you own a brand, you own part of your life. And historically, or from way back, just to let you know that where you are, Mr. Muwema, I'm 21 years here.
21 years?
21 years here.
Here in Kampala or here in this shop?
Here in the same shop you're at. I came here March 15th, 2000. That's when the building had just been opened. And I did not come here as you see, as big as Bravo Shoes. We started as a small corner business, small corner. The shop was small, was one shop before we expanded, where we had different people who were renting into it. And then I started growing up. At that time, I was into clothes, specifically into men's clothes. Having been, my first small job was somebody who gave me a job selling clothes, and I worked for them 1.5 years until when I left, and I started mine with just 100,000 Uganda shillings. Because
100,000 Uganda shillings.
Whenever I tell people that I started my business with 100,000 Uganda shillings, most do not believe. But it's the reality. I paid for my rent.
About $30 or
yeah, about $30 now. I paid for my rent, 100,000 for 2 months. That's 200,000, and I got 100,000 shillings. And I went down in downtown. Downtown has brought us, a long way. And I could get some small shirts, come and display. That time shirts were moving. Like you may be a lawyer. That time lawyers were buying a lot. Clothes would move very fast. So I had to start small. But what do I base on mostly, like as I tell you about integrity, is that people knew me. So I could go and pick about, maybe my 100,000 would get about 5 shirts or 6. But I would get maybe 15. Somebody gives you and comes and puts your business, and then I sell, I take back. I sell, I take back. So it was easier for me. But that time they would not give you, of course, much stocks. The only trick that I would use as a person is that I have a customer waiting, give me some few shirts, they go and choose. But I knew that in the next 2, 3, 4 hours before somebody calls you to run back with their stock, at least one person or two has bought a shirt. So I would easily run back and take their money. So
and be able to grow.
Absolutely. So,
but you're talking about integrity that has spurred you and helped you to develop a business to this level for 20 years. But the statistics about smallholder businesses in Uganda is quite stark. It's quite appalling. I think every 100 businesses that start in any particular year, less than half of them will survive to even celebrate the first anniversary. And yet these small SMEs account for 90% of the private sector. What is that thing apart from integrity? Or are you saying integrity is the only thing that helped you to scale the heights and survive? What made Bravo, Mr. Bravo, to survive for 20 years and grow?
See, we all have reasons why we start business. My principle has been that my business is my firstborn. My firstborn meaning that I have to nurture it. I have to know that this is the journey I've started. It's my own employment. Okay? So many people come in business with different reasons. Because Bravo is selling shoes, let me start selling shoes. Because so-and-so is making money out of clothes, or somebody is selling rice, let me also start. As you have seen this COVID, during this COVID, so many people have jumped on into businesses. These businesses are not their passion. They don't have that attachment, the sentimental attachment. You see, unless you have that sentimental attachment to your business, it's very difficult for you to grow.
So right there you're saying passion
absolutely
is a big driver for success
of
in
course,
business.
Passion. So many people who have done business out of their passion have successfully made it. Why is it so? You see, when you're doing business out of this passion, money becomes secondary.
I thought money first. People say, I am going out there to look for money.
This is the reason. That's why you start with 100 people. Now the reason starts scaling you down. Okay? You're 100 people who have started this business, but you find only 2-3 who have started because of passion.
So you're saying
yes,
people should go out there not to find money, but first to find their passion.
Absolutely.
What actually don't even know their passion.
What cause are you making? You know, I would simply pose about 3 questions to people who are watching, you know, to identify your passion. I always tell people, number 1, what job would you do for 5 good years without receiving any pay? What job would you do for 5 good years without receiving any pay? That's number 1.
If you keep doing it without pay, that's your passion.
Absolutely. What book would you read 500 pages without getting bored? Just a book where somebody, if I can give you an example of people who love baking, someone will tell you any book that comes with recipes, I would read. Recipes. You know, everything that rhymes in my brain as recipes, I'll be able to read. Then number 3, if you had full financial, you know, I call it financial independence. If you have enough money, like Mr. Muwema, maybe you are a lawyer, you've worked, at your age, you've done your best. Now, if you have money, what are you going to do? Because you're a lawyer, you got the money. Yes, you have the money. What are you going to do in this life? If you are able to answer that, then you understand what your passion is all about. Number 3, it's simple to identify our passions. If somebody has money, somebody would go to baking, would go to the kitchen and bake a very nice cake. And by just looking at their beautiful cake, it's enough to fulfill them and say, wow, I love this cake.
Is passion the same as qualifications? Because we have a very, very, very strong push, you know, on the young people. You must be this, I'm a lawyer, be a doctor. That's a nice profession, you know. We want fame and a profile that we have engineers and so on. Don't you think we're getting lost in translation there? Passion, qualification,
of course,
job.
If we could have a chance to identify our sons and daughters right from the age of 5, you know, to master a child between 5 and 12 years is the best time to capture this child. But here, we're not given a chance to explore our passions. You leave your good radio home, you find your son has already dismantled it, then you think this child is a spoiler.
He's stubborn.
This child has already tampered with your TV, trying to open and see what is happening. You think this child is a spoiler or is stubborn. So along the way, we lose it. But where passion comes in is where you find people doing things that you don't expect them doing. because they feel that's where their life is. They don't mind about the public opinion. But here, when now girls and boys go to school after university, because he's qualified a lawyer, he was told that a lawyer must put on a necktie. Then he feels uncomfortable removing a necktie, probably to go and make a sale, to become a street smart, to make a sale. He feels that he's a doctor, he cannot divert into that. But I always tell people that you can be an entrepreneur in your own profession. If you have the entrepreneurial skills as a lawyer, then you're able to expand,
do the business.
To do the business
of a lawyer.
Of a lawyer, you know. Here I'm not talking about business cheating people.
Business with integrity.
Absolutely, being dishonest. No, something that you can do that you feel that, yes, I'm a lawyer, but I'm good at doing this. Can I do it? So whoever has done things that they love have succeeded in life.
Mr. Brian, bravo. You are a businessman.
Yeah.
You're good at making shoes.
Yeah.
This is your passion. And that's why you've been able to put such beautiful premium products out on the market for a long time, and you've stayed in business. But just to understand, because, you know, we have a lot of fictitious stories out there, from hell to heaven, from rags to riches. Yeah. They are so common, populating the internet everywhere. So, but sometimes the young people, anybody that is listening to you, may not be able to understand exactly how do you take those steps to actually be successful too. How did you move into manufacturing of shoes in a country where we are one of the biggest markets for second-hand shoes? Yeah. We're one of the biggest markets for fake shoes. A lot of them we have on the market. What drove you and made you succeed to go into Bravo Shoes? In other words, walk us a bit for a minute or two, this success story of Bravo. What should somebody know?
As I told you that I started clothes. Now, selling clothes, I realized that my dream was to own a brand. Good enough, when I got a chance to travel, I would always find out who is Suzuki, who is Toyota, you know, what is KFC, what is Pep Scholar. So I wanted to know what is behind. Are these things come, you know, maybe from heaven up to here? What is it? Until I realized that, yes, Suzuki is a family name. Toyota is somebody's name. And this is how, you know, we talk about all these. I said, yes, I love clothes. I like being smart. But I realized that the journey of branding clothes is very long for me, because of taste and preferences that change oftenly, most especially in people. I said, yes, I want to remain in my business. To tell you this, Mr. Muwema, I have never done any other business apart from this business. Because I know that each and every business has capacity to grow and expand. But only that we're impatient. We always want to jump. This is not working, you jump to the other. So I said I will not leave the journey of clothes that I started. So I remained under the same classification. Clothes and shoes are under the same classification. Then I said, yes, if I'm going branding, what am I going to do? I said, yes, let me take up shoes. But in shoes, what kind of shoes? I said, children shoes.
Why did you choose shoes?
But in children's shoes, school shoes. You see, all classes, the same. But I said, let me go shoes. Because I loved shoes. You know,
why are shoes important?
You see, Muwema, some of us, we come from very far. It's just because people are seeing us now on social media, you know, in business and everything. I put on my first pair of shoes when I was going to senior one.
Which year was that?
That is 1990, 91. Around 91, 92, I think so. So
your first pair of shoes in
yes,
this one?
Yes, because I was going in senior one. It was funny going to high school with no shoes. In primary, it was the order of the day. It is okay not to have shoes. So now going to a high school, which was from a district where I'm born, I said, how do I board?
You come from which district?
I come from Bara, and I went to Busheng as in Ghana High School for my primary one. I mean senior one. So because of that, any little man I would get, I would make sure that I can have something good. That is shoes. To also show that I've arrived. You know, at that time, when
for status.
Absolutely, for status, to make sure that you have that time, of course, from Bara to Bishenyi.
So your hardship motivated you to provide a solution
for school,
so that other children may not be as unfortunate as you were.
Because whenever you'd go to school, you find that you don't have shoes. Of course, it would be funny. But it was the order of the day. To me, I found it okay. Even today, there are children who have no shoes. And to some societies, it's still okay. Unless you to identify it as a problem. But to me, I realized that time, it was funny going to school with no shoes. So I had to buy shoes. They had to get me a shoe. And that shoe was bigger than what, of course, I would put on. Because as long as it's a shoe, I would fit in. So as I grew up, this motivated me so much. So I said no. When I was into clothes, I had some little shoes. But I said, let me go for children, because I know most children have found it difficult getting shoes. So I said, I will not go into shoes just for selling shoes. I need to own a brand. Then I sat down to look for the name that could be able to fit this brand. And I said, I will not just add up letters. I will not duplicate somebody's brand.
You could have copied.
Yes, Nike. I could have copied Adidas. I would have copied, Clarks. I said no. Why not get a name out of my names and create a brand? Because once this brand fails, I am a failure. Because this brand is part of my name. It's me. Means that I have to start a journey of once it fails.
You own it.
Absolutely, I will fail. So I didn't want to be a failure, and I don't want to be a failure even when the journey. Still, I'm working the same journey.
But I need to commend you. I did a search and found that yours is the only local brand that is registered with the trademark office, though I've not seen any registrations for industrial design. The rest of the trademarks we have in this country are for foreign brands, for foreign shoes, about 13 of them. So I think a big up to you on that, because very few Ugandans understand protection of their creativity or designs, or so that's a commendable thing.
Of course,
where did you get this idea to register your trademark?
You see,
people don't know about it.
When I knew that I'm going to do branding, of course, internet has come. Because we've failed to expose ourselves so much. I had to find out, how do I register a brand? Because it's not about getting the name and putting on your products, or produce something and put a name, which is being done in this country. Everybody gets a name. Of course, somebody says that I have a son. It's called and so and so. Or my brand name, I added my wife's name and my own name, and we created a name. Everybody knows that I'm so and so. Everybody knows that my wife and is called this. And of course, obviously, this is going to put up a brand. I said, no. Let me go ahead and register my brand through URSB. I had to go to URSB. They gave me the process and everything. Of course, at first, it was expensive for me. Because Gazette is very expensive, and I'd urge that if we can be able to handle the Gazette fees, because registration is cheap, but the Gazette fees become very expensive.
It's about $250 per Gazette.
Per Gazette is about $150 roughly. Okay, just gazetting without registration fees. But if you
the total cost, I think, is about. It could go up to $600 for the whole, per trademark, $600, which is way, way, way out of reach.
Yes, way, way out of reach of so many people. So I went, registered my trademark, got my certificate, and after getting my certificate, I knew that I'm well protected now. So I started now. You see, there are two things: having a registered brand, and having the product, and then also the brand coming out to be known. It's a totally different story.
So this Bravo trademark, when did you register it? That was I saw it's 2014.
2014, yes.
It's about 7 years ago.
Yes,
now.
we took a decision to go ahead and, of course, before I was not registered, because this started in 2006. So I was not registered fully because I had a company at that time. So I thought actually that owning a company, a company name and a trademark, were the same.
Were the same, yes.
I didn't know, and I've realized that so many people are also having the same problems now. That somebody has a company, my company is, Muwema and Company Limited, and then somebody comes out and says, Muwema is a brand. It's a registered brand, so you cannot use it anywhere. Then when you come up as Muwema Company Limited to register your brand as Muwema as a trademark, then somebody pushes you out of business and says, no, please. You're a company, you're not a trademark. So I learned a lot. I realized that I needed to do all this. And today I am very proud that I differentiate between the two. And I've also gone ahead to train so many people.
Bravo, the company,
Absolutely.
and then you have Bravo, the trademark.
The trademark.
So how many brands do you have? For those who are hearing about Bravo for first time.
Yeah, the brand is Bravo Shoes.
Bravo.
Yes.
How many designs or how many?
We have different designs, of course. When it goes to design, that's different. Of course, Bravo Shoes can own different brands below.
Yes.
I have the Liberty. Or you can decide also to have own Bravo Shoes.
So which type of shoes do you make?
The shoes we make, of course, are for children's shoes. Healthy children's shoes. School shoes.
Show us a sample.
When we talk about the health children's shoes, if you look at this shoe, it's a very healthy shoe. Why do I call it healthy?
Can you show the camera? What is healthy about it? This looks like any other shoe you'll find on the market.
You see, if I may tell you this,
I'm going to compare. I have another shoe. This is not a Bravo.
Actually, that's
another shoe we found on the market.
Okay. Now,
just hold these two and tell us what's the difference.
No, to give you the comparison, I'm going to show you the same shoe, the Bravo, before I touch on this, on that you're bringing
This
us.
is a shoe that we got downtown somewhere near one of the arcades. It is a shoe called the Yaduno. It costs about 10,000 shillings, this shoe. How much is your shoe there?
This is 130,000.
Oh my God.
100,000, of course.
A difference of 100%.
Absolutely.
This shoe costs 10,000 shillings. It's as shiny as I think they shine the same.
You may look at this, of course, now.
What is wrong with this shoe and what is, tell us.
If you look at this shoe and you look at this, somebody would say they are the same shoes because they are all shining. Okay?
Well, by the way, what is that shine? Is that the synthetic?
This is just a coating. This is just a coating.
Paint.
Yes, this is just a coating they put on a fake material. Okay?
Okay.
Just they put it on a fake material to make it similar to the original shoe.
So what is good about your shoe?
Now, when you look at this shoe, this is leather. This is pure leather, right from the inside.
So leather can shine like that?
Yes. When you look at leather, it's pure leather. If you look at it's pure leather. If you look at the internal, this is pure leather. If you look at the capping, you see, when you're talking about the capping, the cap,
the shape here,
the shape is what we call the cap. Most of the fake shoes, they don't consider nothing. They use the same mold. You know, each shoe has got its own mold. This shoe, you find that it is made on different molds. If you look at the insoles, if you look at the soles, these are imitated materials that come in.
Show the camera the difference between this sole, because we want to learn. We want to learn on this shoe. This does exactly what that shoe does.
Actually, this must not do this. You see, when they get materials, when we get the materials,
what is wrong with this material?
If you look at inside, this is a rough material. If you ask the owner of this shoe, they will not tell you what the material is. These are what we call the imitated materials. We have what we call the cloth. If you're looking at the inner lining cloth, if you're not using the internal leather and you're using the cloth, okay? Now the cloth must be a healthy cloth that is not going to cause friction onto your
So it must
material.
be soft.
Soft.
What
yes.
you are saying is that this is soft. So this is the genuine.
Yeah, absolutely. This is leather because the leather is soft on the human skin.
So leather is preferred for shoes because it's soft.
Because it is soft. If I choose to use the cloth lining, you get it? The cloth lining should be the right cloth lining. Now, all these you see, they try to make it cloth so that you line that is comfortable inside.
And put a nice color there.
And put the nice color inside. You know,
so what is the danger of buying such a shoe?
The color is to attract you. You think it is a healthy color. Okay? Now, when you go inside, the flexibility of the shoe, you know, when they are testing shoes, the shoe must have the flexibility. At what level can this shoe tear? Okay? At what level can this shoe tear? You want me to do it for you?
Yeah, yeah.
At what level can the shoe tear?
Oh.
It's already gone. You know? At what level is this shoe?
It has
now, yes,
a mask material inside?
Absolutely. This is what all the fake,
So
whatever they're
doing. Can I tear your shoe?
You can try. Do your best. Use the most energy you want to use.
If it tears, you're going to
Please,
get embarrassed.
use the energy you can try. We have a certain level of flexibility at what level a shoe can tear. Never can you tear this shoe. Because leather has the certain level.
Maybe this one is strong. Do you have another one I can tear?
Any shoe you can. Any shoe.
So it's even not showing any.
This is why I say this. Yes.
Huh?
Now, you see, I have not flexed a lot.
No, but I have a stronger one. Try this one. This is very strong.
You see, I want to show you people. I want to show people first.
Huh?
Look at this, what is inside here.
Uh-huh.
This is paper. You see what is happening? If you look at this.
Paper.
Okay? No, this is even paper. These are industrial made things. If you look at this. Okay? Now, if I do this, you see this inside, you see what they're using as the cap. You see the material they put in here, thinking that they're protecting. Now, you see how rough it is? This one.
So this
is it.
What is the danger of wearing such a shoe?
All these materials are fake industrial made materials that are not made. Absolutely. Now, when you look at the infections that come, these shoes will bring infection to your children. And I want to tell viewers, we have a lot of diabetes, especially type 1 diabetes for people living with diabetes. Now, our children who have that challenge, once they land on the same shoe, they start getting blisters and they start getting foot challenges. And many are being amputated.
Can children also get deformities?
Absolutely. The deformities come right from here. These are the shoes. You see, when we talk about our age, your age, that time, whoever would produce any shoe, they would produce a quality shoe even when it would be cheap. But here, they are doing all this. You see, it is shining.
For us, many people think that with counterfeits, the most dangerous thing are medicines, you know, food you're eating. You're saying even shoes, actually.
A lot of problems come into your foot. Now, if I'm telling you, I will tell you that we also ventured into diabetic footwear. Why did I venture into diabetes?
Show us diabetic
because
footwear.
I realized that so many people are going through challenges, okay? For example, this is a diabetic shoe. Of course, here it comes at a level where somebody has already got challenges. Peripheral neuropathies, canal spurs, blisters,
are you a doctor?
wounds. I am not a doctor.
What's your profession?
I'm not anywhere close to doctors, but
you went to school. You speak well.
When you love what you're doing,
you get to learn.
You will always find solutions for people. So I came in sort of solutions, even to have solutions for certain problems.
But it's good people know what your core training is, so that you don't restrict yourself to. If you started,
unfortunately, Muwema would tell you that I am a school dropout at a certain level of school that I couldn't go ahead in my school because of fees and everything. So I dropped out. So I'm a high school dropout.
But right there, a school dropout to run a business for 20 years, you employ, I'm sure, quite a number of people. You pay taxes to government. So what are our graduates, people with the degrees and the masters doing? We shall be talking about education briefly. But we're still talking about the dangers of these shoes.
Now, when you look at this, I want to show you something. I want to show you how simple. You know, I'm not using a lot of energy, but to get out something. You see this? Now, if I do this with my hands, what happens when you're doing movements with these shoes? You see, when you're moving, we are using a lot of force. And when you're using a lot of force,
the whole body weight is on the feet.
Leave around
which
the
are the fake shoes.
That's what we call the foot pressure. Now, whole body weight onto the shoes. That is, you're putting pressure. There's a lot of pressure onto your feet. Okay? Now, whole pressure onto your feet rests on such kind of shoes. Because these are here. You know, people are already to identify them in the market. Someone will buy it. Maybe I say I can afford 20,000. It's cheap for me to afford. But the cost, the challenge that you're going to have on the health of your child is actually seen now when you see many people now who are living with diabetes. They're having foot challenges. They do not know that the origin is the bad shoes you have been putting on. I would even advise ladies out there.
High heels. We have the high heels.
Before even the high heels, you look at these pumps. This is a quality pump. I'm talking about the fake pumps. You go and buy a pump, you know, Now, that
This
pump,
is a pump.
this is a pump.
Uh-huh.
Well protected. If you look at the inside, when you're doing the capping inside, you know, the inside is leather lining, soft lining, and then down, this is what we call, there's something to protect.
Is this the pump?
Yes, if you look at the
This
packet,
is a fake. We bought it about 7,000, 10?
yes, this is 7,000 or 10.
What material
Now,
is this?
This is more dangerous. This
What
is
material?
PVC.
PVC.
Not even to the level of PVC, plastic.
PVC
you know.
is
Yeah.
used for pipes and so on.
Yes. So they soften it here and give it. That's why it is shapeless. You see,
Let's
it's
show the
already
camera.
losing shape. If you look at
So
this.
this is the PVC.
Yes, it is losing shape already. You know, because it cannot hold itself in one position. Okay.
And how is the inner lining? Is it
There's nothing like lining, but somebody who is selling who is making fake, tries to put up something in design form for you to see that, wow, there's a lining, white lining. So it is a comfortable shoe. So this shoe, actually all your body weight rests down on the ground. You're compressing your nerves.
How does this affect a lady, the lady's feet?
Now,
It's PVC. So how does it affect a lady?
Now, you see, this material reacts on your skins. That's why you see ladies suffer more from corns than men, because men, we grow up putting on socks, isn't it? But ladies kiss the shoes. I call it kissing the shoes live. You know, they don't put on socks. So if you look at most women,
Direct contact.
at direct contact, so you find that they have cones, a lot of cones that they're suffering. There's what you call the side cones. The toe, on top of the toes. Then there are those which are below, down. Once you're moving on this shoe, you're having that friction that it causes cones, and those cones result into danger. So this shoe you see here, he will put up a good design, of course. You see, I have just used it. I'm not flexing. It's already gone out. You get it. Now, look at how they do it. This method that they use, look, you see, I want to show you. It is simple. They use it like this. This fake metal, and he has put a design for you. For you, attracted on the metal.
The glitter.
Yes, the glitter. You're attracted on the glitter. So when
You are lowered into.
yes, you're being, hoodwinked into, wow, it's a nice design. It has gold on top. Okay? But you see how he fixed it here. Even if I do this, I want to show you something. To show you how dangerous this shoe is, I'll put my finger in here and I'll flex up.
Oh my God.
You see this? You get it? The tear is very simple. Now, whenever
The tear is very simple. Let me tear for you your shoe also.
you can try that, I will tell you, no, you can even flex that shoe, because we are showing, yes, you can do your best.
This is
with your
a Bravo
energy.
shoe?
Yes, you can never.
So-
Now, this, if you look at this, because he just opened here and I put up something, you can never. The tear can never, the sole can never detach.
So let's not go
So-
for cheap
Of course,
and dangerous. We should go for quality shoes.
Yes. You know, when
At
I
a
mentioned about the price of Bravo shoes, they say, wow, that's very expensive. I say, if you go
Your
up
average shoe costs how much?
120,000,
That's about $30.
$30.
That's
Why?
high.
To make the shoes, we go through a lot. Any growing child must have quality shoes
To protect.
to protect the feet, the problems that are going to come later. Now, if we talk about second hand, let me give you this scenario. Somebody says there is a lot of fake new. I can't get the quality new. Let me go for second hand, because it was an original Nike, isn't it? An original Nike that I want to use. Okay? Now,
We have a fake Nike
Yeah.
we got in the market.
yes. Now, I will
That's
tell
a
you
fake
this.
Nike.
I will tell you this. First instance, look
Yeah.
at this. This is where somebody puts. What
Their
is
feet.
this?
What's wrong with this?
Now, somebody is trying to show you that there is a lining he has put in. The lining, this is a foam. This is a protective foam.
This
Now-
is not a lining.
He's just putting it, just small paper to light you. But even below the paper, you see what is happening. You see the fake behind. You see the fake behind that is taking place. As you're moving, you see, as somebody is moving, you see what the fake is taking place down onto your feet.
Direct and it's hard.
Very hard. But you see what he gets, the upper, and mixes. Look at this. Look at this, what he is doing. Look at this. Look at this. This is how they do it. Now, after this, he puts this, he covers it for you here, You look at the shoe, wow, it is black, it is nice, I'm going to put my feet here. Now,
And you go and run and play football or do whatever with this. You're hurting yourself.
You're hurting your limbs.
And you're giving it to a child.
You see, your limbs, they're all ending up there. Your bones are being challenged.
The tendons.
That's how you, when you go to 40, 45, I'm a guluganuma. You know, my legs are aching. What is the matter? Am I old?
The shoes you have been wearing.
Because of the shoes you have been wearing. After I'd rather tell you, walk barefoot than having to have a fake shoe. You'd rather be barefoot than have a fake shoe. Because remember, the fake shoe, it is changing your posture. You see that this is designed. So you're changing how you're moving. And when you find that it has changed all this, it is affecting your posture.
But
Now,
bravo, Mr.
When
Bravo.
we go to, let me take you to the second hand. Somebody says, you're telling me the new are fake, isn't it? But I have the original second hand. I have the original second hand Nike or Clarks, isn't it? Nike, Clarks or Adidas, isn't it? Let me go for it. Now, to be sincere, shoes expire. Anybody who can afford, shoes expire after 1-2 years.
Shoes expire.
Yes.
What do you mean?
How do these shoes expire? The inner lining, the lining you see that they put into the shoes, are supposed to hold your weight at a certain level and for a certain period of time. So when the foam loses out, that's why somebody discards the shoe.
So second-hand shoes are expired.
Yes.
So
They expire. Somebody discarded that shoe, not that they didn't like it, but it's expired.
it
The
is no
foam,
longer fit for purpose.
It's no longer giving you the healthy, standards for it. So the shoes, men, someone wears shoes for 6-7 years. You're creating problems for yourself.
So we should be wearing shoes for how long?
2 years, like you, Muwema, you have money, you should be able to buy every year. Discard the shoes.
Does the shoe expire because you're wearing, or it can expire when it is just there on the rack?
No, it expires, especially when you're wearing it, because the foam is losing out.
So if you wear less, if you
Yes.
have more pairs of shoes,
Yes.
you can have shoes for 5 years.
Absolutely, because you wear them less. So every time you put weight on your shoe, remember, you're collapsing it. You're collapsing it. So as you're
So
collapsing
most
it,
Ugandans are expired, or they are wearing expired shoes.
everything is expired that they're having. Shoes are expired, most especially shoes. And if I'm taking, you wonder why I'm leaning more on diabetes. Because I've come out to realize that so many people are suffering with diabetes, and the origin of the amputations are the shoes.
Diabetes leads to amputation.
Yes, of course. Now,
Why does the amputation come?
you know what happens? If you look at the shoes, for example, I would give you this shoe that has a heel. Men's shoe like the shoe you're wearing, you're putting on, or my shoe here. Some shoes, most of them, majority of the fake, and I'll call it the counterfeits. Now, when the shoe is made, they make sure there are nails. There are nails that they put into the soles.
Let's check my shoe.
Yes,
Is
the
it,
shoe has nails. Yes, it has nails. Okay.
so is this fake or what?
No, it is okay, but it is made in the nails. Now, you find that a quality shoe, once they have the nails would not go to a certain level. Okay?
Inside?
Absolutely. So you're supposed to use this design, you're supposed to use your shoe up to a certain level and not start eating up your soles.
Oh.
Now, when you start eating up your soles, now it presses
So
the nails.
these shoes where the sole, they say good
now,
reggae.
yes.
Those are
Absolutely. Now,
fake shoes.
now what happens?
Yeah.
The nail starts going upwards. So these
Towards
nails,
the foot.
Towards the foot. Now they go in. I know most people who are watching, they can be able to see. Look at your shoes. You find there are nails that come in. Now these nails start irritating your heel. Now when it finds that you have diabetes, sometimes you lose sensation because you have lost your sensation because you have been affecting your
breaking.
nerves. You have affecting your nerves with bad shoes. So your senses down onto the feet.
That nail pricks.
Yes, this keeps pricking when you do not
So that's
know.
how you get the diabetes wound.
Yes. Others who put on white socks, they do not know unless they have seen blood out of their feet. Then somebody says, wow, you have a stain. And where is that stain coming from? Because of that nail.
But
that
how
has
come
gone
you don't
out.
feel it?
Because you have compressed your nerves for a long time, so they no longer feel.
Terrible.
Yes.
So what you are saying you told me off camera that a shoe has several components, the lace and so on.
Yes.
How important is the sole? For example, this is a shoe we bought, also another 10,000-15,000. It's a young man's shoe. Comment about that sole.
You see, a child is small, maybe it's little weight. Then you produce such a shoe.
What's wrong with that sole?
That has a big sole.
It looks funky.
First of all,
it is military.
First of all, it is heavy.
Heavy duty.
For the child. Okay? Secondly,
so shoes for small children should not be heavy.
They should be light to give a child comfort, because the child is more flexible. The child runs faster. So the feet of this child, they are always active in there. So you're not tampering with the nerve endings of the child. So these shoes do not consider nothing at all. Somebody makes a shoe.
And you are saying that shoes for children, quality shoes for children,
of course,
must not have shoelace.
Of course.
Why?
Only any person who is making cheap shoes will make laces, because it is easier. You cannot forge a Velcro, we call it. We cannot.
You are saying that
yes.
cheap shoes have laces.
Yes.
My shoes have laces, Bravo.
Okay.
So,
especially in the little ones.
For the little ones, they are.
For the men, less shoes are much better. It's okay. They can have.
But for the children, less shoes are fake or are not ideal.
They are not ideal.
Why? Because you should not tie up a child's
Because
feet.
a child is always fast. They are fast in movement. They lose these laces. Okay?
That is one.
And then the person who is also making, because he is making fake, he has to make laces, because they cannot afford to do what is called the Velcro. That's why you see most
this is
parents,
more expensive.
Yes, that's why most parents suffer. They say, no, these shoes that are these, they have failed us. No, the Velcro is expensive.
Let's show
to
the,
make
the
a
camera.
shoes.
So an ideal shoe will have this.
Yes, but because most people, this is expensive, they cannot, unless it is.
So they will go for laces.
Yes, because to make a quality shoe, you must do Velcro.
So are you saying head teachers in schools must send away children with laces? They should encourage this?
Yes, encourage this, because these are lost easily. They lose them. Okay? And most of the fake shoes, all are made this because it's cheaper to make, because all these are fake. The highlights and everything, it is easy to put in the highlights. Okay?
And if the laces get lost, you can tie a string.
You can tie a string. It is easy. But you look at somebody tells you this is a good quality shoe, but if I'm to test it, it's easy to test.
Yeah.
Flexibility, when we're doing testing of shoes, when you're doing the testing of shoes, they tell you at what level does this shoe tear? At what level of flexibility? Now, they put this shoe in a machine to test the level of tear, like as I did the other one. But if I'm to do this, for example, if I want to detach this shoe, I want to detach it. I'm just using my hands to detach this shoe.
This is a new shoe.
This is a new shoe.
We bought it a few meters from here.
Yes, I am detaching it. Just I'm detaching it. Now imagine I am detaching this shoe from the insole. You see this?
Let the camera see.
Somebody will tell you this is a leather. So what happens?
You are detaching a new shoe. So
Yes.
how is this supposed to go in the rain, in the dust? How can this survive?
Of course, never. Never. Now, people say this is leather, okay?
Oh my God.
I just want to show you something here.
Huh?
Somebody,
Show
where the leather,
camera, show the camera.
where the leather starts from, okay? Now, this is where somebody tells you it's a leather shoe, isn't it? Now, a leather shoe, from up inside, leather disappears. You see this? I want to get out the leather, but this is just a spray.
So what material is this?
These are imitated. I don't even have the name. These are imitated industrial materials, where they go into the industry and mix plastics, and then they produce the uppers of the shoes, just to hoodwink somebody. Because somebody has seen the same shoe, maybe Bravo Shoes has got the same
design.
shoe, same design, let me go and make the same shoe. So you can see,
Oh my God.
this is it. Now, I want to see where the leather, somebody tells you, this is a leather shoe. You see where the leather has disappeared? Where's the leather? Because somebody tells you, this is leather.
So what's that brownish?
No, it is
grayish?
the real material, the fake material. But he has to hide it into black and showing it is leather.
On the top, he'll put.
Yes, and that's it. And when it goes to the the soles, these are soles. If you give it 6 months, it will expire. If I may give you COVID, you see COVID? So many people have lost shoes during COVID. Now, what happens?
How?
The business community. Because once you're dealing in fake, you cannot store it for 10, 12 months. This shoe, if you store it, after
people have lost shoes in COVID
business,
because when they store them,
yes,
they deteriorate.
Even the customers who bought fake shoes, when they go back to where they picked these shoes, all of them opening the shoes, they're already ripped.
Or the business community, when the arcades were the lockdown,
yes,
when they came back after 3 months to check on their stock,
yeah,
it was all gone.
Good. Because, I mean, these are the dangers. You see, when you're dealing in fake, in case there's any closure, me, I was very comfortable. During lockdown, I knew the stores are well safe. Nothing can happen on our brand. And now product went to the West. Why? Because a leather product, a genuine product, you will store it even if it is 10 years. It will remain the same. If you look at many shoes that come from the UK, many people say, I got the shoe from the UK, but it is ripping. I mean, it is peeling off. It's the same story. You've seen ladies' shoes, because most ladies' shoes, because they change fashion all the time, they are not leather. So after putting them in the house, they start peeling. So that's why you find that many people complain that my child's shoes are peeling, or my shoes are peeling. Quality shoes can't peel. Leather shoes don't peel. Leather cannot peel, because leather, there's no mix. It's a sheet of leather. So how can it peel? Because this has got different sheets. That's why it will.
So Bravo, you are. What do you say about this notion? Because you know, every time we are saying buy genuine, people are saying it's expensive and so on. What do you say about the notion that cheap things are expensive?
Yeah, of course.
Using these examples.
Of course, like as I told you now, life is changing. Health-wise, if you're a gentleman out there or a lady out there, what you put in your limbs will determine how your limbs are going to be at the age of 40 or 50. We just need to know that it doesn't stop just there at putting on the shoes. If you're bringing up a child, what kind of shoes are you putting on? What kind of shoes are you buying for your child? If you go to UK, USA, children's shoes are very expensive. Why? Because children must be catered for right from the age 1. But just because here, every manufacturer will come in to say, I am producing shoes. They don't care whether your child will grow and have deformities or not. They don't care, because he's after money. And then for you as a consumer, for you, you're after also going for cheap. But you think this person who is manufacturing is doing you a good job by providing you what you can afford. But in life, I would tell
But killing
people,
you in effect. We cannot leave the show.
Yeah.
We are told time is up. We cannot leave the show before we talk about ladies' shoes.
Yes.
The high-heeled shoes. I have a report here which says that women who wear high heels daily might be signing up to more trouble than they are bargained for. These are some of the dangers they say. High heels cause fibers in the calf muscle to shorten and the Achilles tendon, which connects the calf muscle, to stiffen and become thicker. It causes foot injuries. It causes heel pain, toe injuries, sprained ankles, posture and gait problems. Some women start walking in a funny way. What is your message to ladies and their shoes? Because you can't separate them. High heels, I don't know, they have...
What they didn't put in that report is the rampant, how do you call them? How do I call it? Clots.
Rampant clots.
Blood clots.
Blood clots.
Yes, of course. Now, the blood clots are very common because of the kind of footwear that we're having. You see, if I may give you something small, the feet are far from the heart. Okay?
The feet are?
Far from the heart. The heart is in here. The feet are longer, isn't it?
But I'm told the feet have nerves which connect
Yes, of course.
to the brain, the
Absolutely.
heart, the lungs.
But you see, when the blood circulation is going down, and it encounters anything
that blocks
down
it.
Yes.
Let's say a tight shoe or something.
It will get backward.
So that's how the clots are coming.
Absolutely. Now, ladies like the high heel, yes. The toe effect, for example, those toe effects, as they said, there's a lot of toe damage. Maybe they wanted to say the cones, because you know when there's friction, There's a lot of friction. And those cones, you reach a time that you cannot put on any other shoes. Now, whenever you're on that high heel, you're compressing your nerves. Those nerves that are on the footbed. I call it the footbed, below the foot. Those nerves that are supposed to do the blood circulation there. Okay? So you're pressing them and pressing them all the time.
Then how come these high heels sell so much and are so popular?
Yeah, of course, ladies want always to enhance their heights. You know, maybe I'm shorter. I want to be up there, American height. You know, on my wedding, I have to move up there. It's an in thing for ladies.
We are watching too much TV.
But if you see, let me tell you this. Ladies are not comfortable in high heel. Nobody should lie you. That's the reason. Today you find a woman with a handbag big with 3 pairs of shoes.
Inside.
If you have to ask her the full day, which shoe have you used?
When they are driving, they have flat shoes or sandals.
Others also drive in the high heel, by the way, because she wants to make a statement. But if you find out in 24 hours which shoe has been most highly used among how many hours, it will be a flat shoe. So these come in, but because they want to keep at the pace, you find somebody's already struggling and they run into their bags.
So there's a fakeness in our behavior, basically.
Yes.
We have some artificial...
Yes. Maybe the shoes that have proved to be comfortable are they call them the wages. Maybe the wages, they are trying to give women comfort, but also they are not good to keep them because you're putting your legs on tension, you know? You're putting your legs on tension. So all the time they're on tension. And when they're on tension, then you start getting challenges of blood circulation. That's why you see most women at 40,
they start swelling.
They're swelling the legs. Because the swelling of the legs, of course, if the neural system is compromised down there, and this is all comes because of the foot problems. If I go back to the diabetes, I have researched a lot. So I'm telling about diabetes. It's a scourge. People must be aware. And all this has to do with our footwear. We have what we call the hammer toes. You see our toes start going down. Somebody gets diabetes. They still want to be fashionable, keeping our shoes. And then because they do not want to shift to the diabetic
That's
foot.
the problem of aspiration. To be like...
Yes.
Like you've arrived. Like
you've arrived, but now, because the blood circulation becomes compromised, the toes become hammer because of the peripheral neuropathies. The peripheral neuropathies are because of the nerves. That once the nerves get challenged, they will not struggle. It's not blood pressure. It's not pressure of water.
So really, the shoe industry is killing.
And I want to assure you, in this country, it is pathetic. You just need to know, it is so pathetic. If you go down there, whatever they're producing for children, leave alone children. We're talking about men in offices. These shoes you're in, they're creating a lot of infections. If you're diabetic, if you have blood pressure, the challenge is as big as you can imagine.
So how do you compromise between the need for comfort and style, you know, in this shoe industry? Because it must be stylish, but then it must also be comfortable. Now, really, if you asked me, there is a shoe I saw here.
I would request Noro to give me a diabetic shoe for men.
I have seen there's a diabetic shoe you showed here.
I can get one.
It may be comfortable, but it's not stylish. There is one you showed here.
There's this. I want to show.
Now, really, you look at this shoe.
Now, if you look
this is a diabetic shoe?
Yes. Now, if you...
So it's comfortable, but is it stylish?
If you want to get rid of this, you see here...
How many ladies would go on a date with a guy wearing?
I come in here when it is already danger with you.
Oh, this is for a sick person.
This is like an ambulance. I come in with my ambulance.
But you look at the style.
Yes. I come in with an ambulance. You have a wound. The same heel I was talking about here.
Oh.
Okay? You have nerve challenges.
So you
already have nerve challenges.
You can't put pressure.
Yes, you already have nerve challenges. You already have swollen feet. You already have a wound. You already have stones.
If you're already sick, then you forget about style. Yes. You just need comfort.
Absolutely.
But now somebody who is not sick.
But to get to here, I have told that's the process of getting here. We are in office. You have been declared you have diabetes. You want to keep in style, but you forget that you're creating more problems for you. The only solution I have for you is to give you an off-roading shoe.
Brian, you're saying most shoe companies in the world are fake, actually. They are giving us fake products.
Majority, because they are looking for money. I want to show you that. because they're producing for money. They're not producing for comfort. If I can give you Clarks, why do you think Clarks, let me mention this brand, they have very comfortable shoes in the whole world. Because for them, they have not left why, you know, the mission why they started this brand. If you look at this shoe, it may look stylish or not stylish, but this shoe...
It's a bit stylish, yes.
Yes, but this is a different exceptional shoe. This is a shoe that is light. You can touch it. I think it's heavier than the shoe you're wearing. This is a diabetic shoe. I can have another. This is a diabetic shoe. Sorry. You know, my
but
customers...
we also have from the market. Very nice.
Now, if you look at this shoe...
This is, if you're talking about style,
yes.
How many young ladies would go out with a guy
wearing
in this town wearing, really, your vote is really a guy wearing this and a guy wearing this. Most likely they would go for this.
Of course, this one will win for the short time, but this one will win permanently.
This was also about 20K, 15K
yes.
from downtown.
Yeah. These are the worst shoes that are creating a lot of problems. You can't believe. Yes. If you look at this shoe, this is a classic shoe for a man who wants, let me talk about 30, 35, 40. If you mind about the health of your feet, even if you don't have diabetes or pressure, whatever you have, this is a shoe, if you look at this, very comfortable, light. This
you can't get a clot.
This is 250 grams, toward 300. These are heavier. You get it? Now, this one, if you look at it, I want you to touch here. Touch inside here. I know you have never encountered such a shoe. You see here?
But it's very smooth inside.
Yes, because there's no contact with. Now, this comes with people who have neuropathy, the amateurs.
What is neuropathy?
Okay. We have what we call the high-risk foot for people living with diabetes. People who have high swollen feet. People who have challenged with their nerves. Okay? Once you have challenges with your nerves, then these are the special shoes that you're supposed to wear. But if you found me putting on these shoes, you will not know that I have a challenge.
Wow.
This is made.
Our friend here, our stylish guy.
This one, of course.
Do some small demo there. Is it the sole?
Very painful. You know, even if you hit here, very rough.
It's like a veranda.
It's a veranda. Now, this is too rough that whenever you walk, it is compressing your nerves. Stylish, of course, somebody will feel that they have different colors.
How is the inside?
They'll go it's all fake. You can't make good out, fake out and make inside good. It cannot happen.
Is it strong? Does it tear also or something?
Of course. These are shoes that are disposables that you are going to wear in 6 months. Apart from that, they're good. They start creating you problems. Now, if you want to manage, I can stand for 10 hours in this shoe. You cannot stand 10 hours in your shoe. It will be paining down. Because this is made special to make sure that you're not being... It's bad that the quality shoes, I mean, the healthy shoes are made when you're sick, for the sick people, majority of them.
So we should not wait to fall sick before we get genuine shoes.
No.
Problem is we don't know where to find the genuine shoes. We don't know how to differentiate. You've done a good job on this show really to give us some of the specifications or the things we need to look out for genuine shoes, which I think is a great thing you've done. We need to close because the show has to end. Yeah. I see you have a lot of gas left in you to talk about this issue. As we close, this thing of standardizing in shoes, size 9, size 12, I must tell you, my right foot, I'm a size 9, feels a bit bigger than the left. Is there anything like standardization of sizes? And where did this thing come from? UK size 10, US. Why don't we have Uganda size 10? Or Africa size 10?
No, because the geographical, shoes were made according to the geographical, locations. Okay, as they say, let's talk about Uganda. An Easterner, Ugandan and Easterner, if you ask me, if you call me and say, I am in Soroti, I'm in Mbale, I have my daughter who wants shoes. How old? 10 years. Then I will start thinking 10 years, that is 15 years. Okay? The sizes.
Which region in Uganda has the smallest foot or the biggest foot?
If you go to the Eastern, they are tall. Their children are 10 years, but he's a tall child, tall girl, which means their feet are bigger. So
Easterners have bigger feet?
Yeah, bigger feet, especially
for men and women.
Yes. Easterners, Northerners, Eastern and North, they all have big foot compared to the Westerners.
Westerners have
Yeah,
smaller,
smaller
feet.
feet. The Westerners, all Westerners have smaller feet, moderate small feet. But you find a child of the Eastern who is 10 years but has got 10 years, is supposed to be putting on 35, 36, but they ask for size 40. So they're bigger.
So when you're sending Bravo shoes to Soroti,
Yes.
you're sending for a size 10, you'll do a 12.
Yes,
or 13.
definitely. Now, what happens, as you said, that your left leg and your right leg, you find that your right leg is bigger than the other. No, this comes into formation of humans. We are all not the same, okay? But there is a small section of men and women that you find that, yes, I am a size 42, but my one leg is bigger than the other. What happens? Now, when you're buying shoes, what determines your shoes is that foot that you think is bigger.
In this case, my right.
Yes. So when you're going to buy shoes,
If my right fits,
yes,
that's my size.
and this all goes to even children, not you only, children as well. Get a shoe that fits comfortably that foot that is
bigger.
Now,
And if as I grow older,
Is
does
this-
the foot shrink
no,
or
no,
it
no.
becomes bigger?
They permanently become the same. As you look at ladies, if you look at ladies, they know that sometimes their formation of their breasts, one is larger than the other. And it also takes their foot side. If it is the left side, the breast is bigger, then you find that the foot side is also bigger. But that's a small section in humans. Like men, me, if it's a size 40, it will go for size 40, both legs. You, it will come different. But it's a small section of humans that have that
This
challenge.
man is an encyclopedia on shoes. Mr. Shoes, Mr. Bravo, Mr. Brian, it has really been a pleasure to host you. But before I leave, I'm very excited about touched by your story. Before we leave, we have a lot of fakeness around. And one of it is in education.
Yeah.
We are a society that pushes for paper qualifications. I have this degree. We display them. We do a lot of parties. University education, the normal education we have versus vocational education. Do you see our school system producing any graduates or any people that have the skills you require in this business here, the manufacturing, the sale, the distribution of your products? Talk about education.
I would say not at all, because
We have fake education?
a lot, because we still believe in the traditional way of going to school for cram work, okay?
Learning only through school.
Absolutely.
The things you have said here, you didn't learn in school.
Nothing.
But you are an expert in this area.
You see, they say school teaches you, but the world teaches you more 1,000 times than what school teaches you. Okay? That is my principle. Now, why do you think, I'll give you this scenario, simple scenario. Why do you think the non-educated are still getting richer and running this world? The reason is, the less educated always have chances, high chances of dealing with the entrepreneurs that started small. Because I didn't go to school, I am trying out anything. And through
You are
those
not very
trials,
risk averse.
we are not risk averse. So you find that if I never went to school, I will say, after all, my only job I have is selling pancakes.
So
Let
you'll
me
do
sell
it
my
with your
pan-
heart.
With my heart. And I will blossom. But the problem with our neckties, I mean, the school
elites.
smarts, the elites, we only think that, yes, the society must see us all the time with what we went to school for. So we always undermine people who are below us. But I always tell people, Mr. Muwema, that anybody who has done something that is exceptional, anybody who has done something that you can't do, they become your best teacher.
Jack Canfield said that you are not paid for what you studied, but
Yes.
you are paid for what you do.
What you do. If you look at somebody who never went to school, can dismantle your engine of your Mercedes-Benz, put it back, and your car moves, but he doesn't speak English. But he knows what to do.
Here you have engineers who cannot
From
dismantle an engine.
Chambogo, maybe you go dismantle the engine, he will not do it. What does this mean? Is that we qualified when we're too old. When we're too old to be flexible. The only thing you're trying to be proud of is the degree that you got. But that's why we say, after school, what matters is what you're doing. It's not the books that you have. That's why you have successful lawyers who thought it's about being a lawyer and sitting, or those who have taken off, removed their neckties and went into the field and worked. They're successful. The doctors who are successful are those who have removed their neckties and said, let me go and work. So it's because we're too old at 25, you're becoming so and so. You're becoming a lawyer at 25. You have the egos, you know, you have already attitude, you have tested relationships. You see
interpersonal
yes,
skills.
You see girls leaving university because she knows the most important thing is the message she receives from her boyfriends. Now, only that
the
message.
Number of likes.
The number of likes. That message is going to disorganize her for the rest of her life.
Mr. Bravo will not stop. Mr. Bravo will not stop. But I think this is one of the best shows we've had. I am sure this has been very, very, very heavy, very informative.
Thank you.
The amount of information, the amount of knowledge that we have gained. I have been educated today. Yes. I don't know whether this looks
but you're
like
a land fella, so I don't think I can train you.
But this has really been interesting. What Mr. Bravo, Mr. Shoes has told us is that it is not only counterfeit medicines or counterfeit food that we've been talking about that is a problem. Actually, fake shoes are a big health concern to all of us, because I've heard him talking about amputations, blood clots, corns, and all these issues. The ladies out there, the shoes that you are wearing will determine whether you'll enjoy your later years, or you'll be bedridden, or you'll have a spinal problem, or your feet will be swollen. It's a big issue here. Thank you so much. You have to say bye to the
thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure having on the show of the big man. And when he contacted me to be part of him, I said, why am I to be part of this show?
Tell them where to find your shoes.
And I'm very proud to be part of your journey of training people, or telling the world about the counterfeits. So thank you so much, guys. You can be able to find us at Bravo Shoes, City Center Complex, first floor, shop number B6. And on Twitter, we are there as Bravo Shoes. On Facebook, Bravo Shoes Uganda. On Google, we are everywhere. And LinkedIn as well, we're also there. So thank you so much, guys.
Until next Friday, we shall be continuing our series of League of the Genuine discussions. We shall have another exciting guest to continue our conversations on counterfeits in the trade, business, and entrepreneurship world. So have a nice evening, have a nice morning, have a nice afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and only buy and sell genuine products. Say no to counterfeits. Thank you.